This is the last recording from Exploration 4. What you're about to hear should never have been recovered. The fact that it exists means something went terribly wrong. The timestamp says 8 hours, but that's impossible. Dr. 9884 was only inside the stairwell for 43 minutes before we lost contact. The math doesn't work. The physics doesn't work. Nothing about SCP-087 works. Before I tell you what happened in that stairwell, before I explain the face and the crying and the knocking that won't stop, you need to understand how this began. Because nobody was supposed to find it at all. It was 1997. A janitor at the university campus was doing his normal rounds. He'd worked there for 15 years, knew every hallway, every closet, every corner of that building. Except this one. He found a door he'd never seen before. Steel, heavy, industrial, completely out of place in the modern building. And it was unlocked. Inside was darkness. Complete darkness that seemed to swallow his flashlight beam. He could see stairs descending at a 38-degree angle. 13 steps, then a semicircular platform. Then the stairs turned 180 degrees and continued down. And he heard something, a child crying, distant, echoing from somewhere far below. He stood at that doorway for 5 minutes, just listening. The crying never got closer, never got louder, just constant. A child in distress somewhere in that impossible darkness. He closed the door, locked it, reported it to campus security the next morning. That was his first mistake. 3 days later, campus security sent 2 officers to investigate. They descended 30 flights, 390 steps. The crying remained distant, always the same volume. Like it was exactly 200 meters away, no matter how far they went. On flight 31, they saw something. One officer described it as a face, pale, featureless except for hollow eyes, just staring from the darkness below. The other officer claimed he saw nothing, but the audio from their radios captured his breathing, fast, panicked. He saw something. They ran back up, all 31 flights. When they reached the top, they sealed the door and recommended the entire wing be closed permanently. The Foundation heard about it 6 hours later. Everything changed. The Foundation classified it as SCP-087, the stairwell. They installed reinforced steel doors with electric locks, disguised it as a janitorial closet, and they started sending people down. D-class personnel. Prisoners given a choice, explore the stairwell or immediate termination. Most chose the stairwell. Most regretted it. Exploration. One was simple. One D-class subject equipped with a flood lamp, camera, and radio. The mission, go down as far as possible, document everything, come back. He made it 13 flights before he saw the face. Let me read you his exact words from the transcript. What is that? What the heck is that? Oh no, it's some kind of person face thing and it's looking right at me. The doctor managing the exploration asked him to describe it. Long pause. Heavy breathing. Then, it's just staring at me, not moving, just watching. They designated it SCP-087-1. The entity in the stairwell. Nobody knows what it is or what it wants. The subject was ordered to continue. He refused completely, started crying, begging to come back up. They let him return. When he emerged, he was pale, shaking, incoherent. He couldn't sleep or eat, kept saying the face was still watching him. Even with his eyes closed, he could see it. The Foundation terminated him 3 days later. His mind was gone. Now, if you're following this investigation with me, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We're exploring the darkest files the Foundation has, and you don't want to miss what comes next. Hit that notification bell because this story gets much worse. Exploration. 2 went much deeper, different approach. They gave the subject stronger equipment and psychological conditioning, taught him to manage fear, to push through panic. He made it to 50 flights, over 650 steps down. The building above was only 4 stories tall. He was already far below ground level, far below any logical foundation. but the stairs kept going. At 50 flights, he reported the atmosphere changing. Temperature dropped. The darkness felt thicker, he said, like it had physical weight pressing against him. The crying changed pitch, got younger, like an infant instead of a child. At 63 flights, he saw the face again, but closer this time, much closer, close enough to see details. The face had no mouth, no nostrils, just smooth skin where those features should be, and the eyes, hollow and empty, locked directly on him. He kept descending, passing the face. It didn't move, didn't follow, just watched him go by. He said something important. It knows I'm here. It's aware. This isn't some statue or image. There's real intelligence behind those eyes. He made it to 89 flights before his radio failed. Static. Interference. His last clear transmission. I can hear more than crying now. There are other sounds. Footsteps, breathing. Something else is down here. 3 minutes of silence. When the signal returned, all they heard was running footsteps. He was sprinting back up. No explanation, no words, just running. He emerged 27 minutes later, refused to speak. The Foundation tried everything. Interrogation, drugs, medical intervention. He never said another word, just stared at walls, occasionally whispering numbers, counting flights of stairs over and over. 2 weeks later, guards found him standing at his cell door, facing it, perfectly still. He was dead. No wounds, no trauma. He just stopped living. The autopsy revealed something disturbing. His brain showed structural changes. Parts of the frontal lobe displayed signs of extreme stress, like something had been rewriting his neural pathways, changing how his mind processed reality itself. Exploration 3 was different. They chose a former Special Forces operative, someone trained to handle extreme stress, to operate in hostile environments, someone who could complete missions regardless of circumstances. They equipped him with every advantage. High-powered lights, backup radio systems, emergency extraction protocols, everything they could provide. He descended methodically, reporting every detail, every flight, every platform. The stairs were always identical, 38-degree angle. 13 steps, semicircular platform, rotate 180 degrees, repeat forever. He saw the face multiple times, flight 20, flight 47, flight 81, each time in different positions, sometimes ahead, sometimes behind, always watching, always aware. At flight 100, he reported something new. The walls were changing texture, concrete becoming wet, organic, like he was descending into something alive, something breathing. Command, the stairs feel wrong. They're moving. Not much, but I can feel it, like I'm walking inside something big. They ordered him to continue. He did. At flight 136, the crying stopped. Complete silence. For the first time since anyone entered SCP-087, the crying was gone. Command. Either I pass the source, or it knows I'm getting close. Then he said something that made everyone in observation go silent. I think it's been leading us somewhere. All of us. Every exploration. The crying, the face, everything. We're being guided to something. And I think I'm about to find what? They ordered him to stop, to return immediately. He refused, said he was too close. Could feel something at the bottom waiting, something that wanted to be found. At flight 150, his video showed something impossible. The stairs ahead weren't descending anymore. They curved upward. He was at the bottom of a U-shape. But when he looked back, those stairs also descended. Both directions went down. The geometry made no sense. Command, I'm at some kind of junction. Both ways go down. I don't understand how that's possible, but that's what I'm seeing. They told him to mark his position and return. He agreed, started climbing back, but after 10 flights, his radio cut out. Static, then nothing. They waited 6 hours. Standard protocol. If someone doesn't return in 6 hours, they're declared lost. The door is sealed. The exploration ends. On hour 7, they heard knocking. coming from inside SCP-087, behind the sealed door. Rhythmic, one knock, 2 seconds, another knock, over and over. They opened the door carefully. Nobody came out, but the knocking continued, echoing from somewhere deep below, the same rhythm, steady, patient, endless. The knocking lasted 2 weeks, then stopped. The operative never returned. That brings us to Exploration 4, the one that ended all research permanently. Make sure you're subscribed, because what I'm about to tell you is why the Foundation sealed this permanently. This is information they don't want widely known. But you need to understand what happened down there. D9-884, female, age 31, former researcher with a disturbing past. She volunteered for Exploration 4. Actually, volunteered. Most D-class have to be threatened, not her. She wanted to go down, said she had theories about what SCP-087 really was. The Foundation was desperate for answers. 3 failed explorations, no real data, just more questions and more deaths. So they agreed, gave her everything plus one addition, a dead man's switch, a device that triggers if her heart stops. She started descending, calm, professional, using medical terminology to describe everything, the stairs, the darkness, the atmospheric changes, all clinical, all detached. She saw the face at Flight 9, earlier than anyone else. She didn't panic, just noted its appearance and continued. The face followed her, appearing every few flights, always watching. She ignored it, treated it like it wasn't there. Subject 087-1 present at Flight 22. No behavioral changes. Continuing descent. Flight 50, Flight 75, Flight 100. She kept going. The crying was constant. The darkness pressed in. The walls became wet and organic. Nothing stopped her. At Flight 143, something changed in her voice. Still calm, still professional, but there was recognition underneath. Understanding. I know what this is. Come on, this isn't a stairwell, it's a throat. We've been descending down a throat this entire time. The crying isn't coming from below, it's coming from the walls. This thing is crying, and we've been walking into it. They ordered immediate return. She laughed, not panic laughter, amused laughter, like someone who just understood a joke nobody else got. Return. I can't return. None of them could. Don't you understand? The stairs only go one direction. They look like they go both ways, but they don't. Every step down here is permanent. We were never supposed to come back. Her heart rate spiked, but she wasn't panicking. She was excited, like a scientist on the verge of breakthrough. I'm at Flight 150, the bottom. I can see it. There's a platform here, larger than the others, and there's something on it, something waiting. They begged her to describe it. 10 seconds of silence. 20. 30. Just breathing on the radio. Then, it's a doorway leading somewhere else. And the face, 087-1, it's standing in front of it. Not blocking. Guarding. It's been guarding this doorway the whole time. I'm going through. They screamed at her to stop. She didn't respond. The video showed her approaching the face. It didn't move, didn't react. She reached out and touched it. Her hand passed through like touching a reflection, something not quite solid. She stepped past it, through the doorway. Everything went wrong. The video became static, pure white noise. But in the noise, shapes appeared. Figures, faces, dozens of faces, hundreds, all staring out from the static, all aware. The audio was worse. The crying amplified. Multiple voices, all the voices of everyone who descended those stairs and never returned, all crying together, begging for something, help, release, death, anything. Underneath it all, she was laughing, still laughing, that same amused sound. Her last words, barely audible, there is no bottom, there never was. The stairwell doesn't end. It transitions, changes, becomes something else. And that something else is hungry. feeding on everyone who comes here, not their bodies, their perception, their sanity, their ability to understand what's real. Her heart stopped. The dead man's switch activated. The retrieval team found nothing. The stairwell was empty, just stairs descending into darkness. No equipment, no body, nothing. But they found something else. On the platform at Flight 150, scratched into concrete in frantic letters, ITs, full of US. The Foundation sealed SCP-087 that day, welded the door shut, poured industrial foam padding inside, 6 centimeters thick. Because the knocking started again, louder, more insistent, not from deep below anymore, right behind the door, like something climbed back up, like something wants out. The knocking continues today, variable rate, 1 to 2 seconds between impacts, every day, every night. Whoever works near that section reports hearing it, feeling it vibrate through walls and floors, a constant reminder that something is down there. Students who don't know about SCP-087 ask about the knocking. They're told it's old pipes, building settling, normal sounds, and they believe it because people want normal explanations. They want the world to make sense, but it doesn't. Not everywhere. Not in that stairwell. The Foundation calculated the depth of exploration. 150 flights, approximately 800 meters down, 800 meters below a building that's only 4 stories tall, 800 meters into space that shouldn't exist. And that was only where the stairwell transitions. The actual depth beyond that doorway is unknowable, could be infinite, could be incomprehensible. Either way, it's more than human minds were designed to perceive. Some researchers theorize SCP-087 is a dimensional fold, where our reality touches something else. The doorway at the bottom is the contact point, the place where one universe bleeds into another. The face guards that threshold, keeping things from crossing, or maybe keeping things from going back. Others believe the stairwell is alive, conscious, a predator that hunts through mimicry. The crying, the face, the impossible geometry, all designed to lure curious humans deeper, until they cross a threshold they can't return from. Once they cross, they become part of it. Part of the hunting mechanism, their voices adding to the crying, their faces adding to the apparitions. There's a third theory nobody likes discussing, that SCP-087 isn't anomalous at all, that staircases like this exist everywhere, hidden in buildings, in basements, in forgotten corners. We just don't notice them because our brains refuse to acknowledge something that breaks reality so fundamentally. How many doors have you passed in your life? How many did you assume led to normal spaces? What if some didn't? What if some opened to stairs descending forever, and you never opened them to find out? The Foundation has found 3 other locations with similar properties, stairwells that don't follow normal geometry, that descend further than possible, that have sounds echoing from impossible distances. But none have been explored like 087. Because after Exploration 4, the O5 Council decided some things should remain unknown. Some depths should not be measured. Some darkness should not be illuminated. Some doors should stay closed forever. The Foundation monitors that door 24 hours a day, not to study it, to make sure it stays closed, to ensure whatever is behind it stays there. Currently, 3,000 personnel have been assigned to facilities near SCP-087 over the years. Of those, 47 have reported psychological issues. Nightmares about descending stairs, phantom sounds of children crying, the feeling of being watched by something with hollow eyes. The door remains sealed, the knocking continues, and something waits in the darkness 200 meters below, or 800 meters, or infinite meters. Distance loses meaning in SCP-087. If you ever find yourself on a university campus late at night and hear knocking from a maintenance closet, do not investigate. Do not open the door. Do not look down those stairs, because once you start descending, you're following rules you don't understand, making a journey you can't complete, becoming part of something that was never meant to include you. The child is still crying down there. always 200 meters away. No matter how far you descend, it never gets closer. Because it's not a child. It never was. It's bait. And if you're hearing it, you're already caught in something you can't escape. That's SCP-087, the stairwell, the endless descent. The crying in the dark, the face with hollow eyes that sees everything, the knocking that never stops, the doorway at the bottom that leads somewhere worse than death. Subscribe for more stories from the Foundation's darkest files. Because there are thousands of anomalies in Containment, and each one shows how fragile our reality really is. Hit that notification bell and stay informed about the things that hide in the spaces between normal and impossible. Stay curious, stay safe, and if you find a stairwell that descends into darkness with the sound of crying echoing from below, turn around, walk away, never look back. Because if you look back, something might be looking up at you, something that's been waiting, something that knows your name now, something that's been knocking on the door, trying to get out ever since.